Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of, well, This Week in Real Estate. So if you follow these, you'll notice that I was gone last week, and so we have about 2 weeks to cover, but I was gone last week because we took a vacation. It's been a little while since we took an actual kind of vacation, and we'll get to more of that later, but it was pretty well awesome, and we're back in the office, back to work. So the market report. So things continue to decrease as far as what's available for sale, and that tends to be the trend these days. And so Delaware County only has 58 homes for sale, and there are 101 pending homes for sale. So the actives are just a little down from 2 weeks ago, and the pending really took a drop. So most of those, I'm assuming, in the last 2 weeks got sold and closed. And then Delaware County continues that downward trend as well, with only 22 homes for sale and 30 pending. So kind of more of the same. I would kind of estimate that will continue until we start getting a little bit warmer weather here and there. We had some, winter weather last week. So I will kind of estimate maybe here in a few weeks, if we get some 40 to 50 degree days. I say in a few weeks, you never know, but it snowed in May before. But yeah, as soon as we get an upward trend of temperatures, I can see more homes coming up for sale. So that's not a scientific, that's just kind of a guess for me. Okay, on to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good, as I mentioned before, was vacation. It was good. It was exhausting as well. We went to Disney, and that was my first Disney experience, and it's a lot to take in. All the miles that we walked every day, and every place we went, and everything we did. It could have been a little overwhelming, but we had a friend and a travel agent kind of prep us and set things up for us, which really helped, and helped my brain out quite a bit. So much appreciation there. And then, so we did all the parks. We ate too much. It was a pretty awesome trip. And then it was actually a pretty good week to do that, and not because, well, yes, because of the weather that was back here. So work stuff wasn't near as busy as it could have been, because people were kind of prepping for the winter storm and the snow and stuff like that. So it was just by happen chance a good week to be off. So that was great. During that week, we should have closed Ethel on Friday, but title company was closed due to the weather and the travel advisory. So we pushed that to Monday. That is closed. And now the struggle is getting the sign out of the yard, so it's frozen solid. So we may have to delay that for a little bit. Hopefully just get a couple days of warmer temperatures. I can go out there and get it out. But that's kind of the trouble during these winter months here. And then working on a few listings coming up, and so they're almost ready to pull the trigger. We've done all the prep work and all the information gathering, things like that, and now we're just deciding on marketing strategies and things like that, and when to put those up. So those will be coming up in a week or two, and we'll advertise those. And then also working on in my opinion, an exciting project for us, and it's basically going to be a type of program to help seniors in the transition of either downsizing or families that parents and grandparents are going into assisted living situations, things like that. There's some certifications to get, and there's a lot of things to do, and we're just on the front end of this project. But like I said, I'm excited about it, and hopefully create some value for those families that just need answers at this point. I'm running into more and more as basically the baby boomer generation is getting older, and they're facing these questions and this big transition point in their life. And if they can't make their own decisions at this point, and the family does, and that's all kinds of hard. And so hopefully putting this program together will just get some information to those people that they can use, and make this time just a little bit easier on them. So excited about that. moving on to the bad, very minor hiccups during the vacation, nothing bad, but had a little travel delay coming back. But in retrospect, there were a couple flights canceled earlier in the day, getting from Orlando to Indy, and ours was just delayed about an hour, a little over an hour. So I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. So, and then, with Disney, there's a ton of people. There's always going to be a ton of people. So there were some long lines, and I can say everything was worth it to stand in those lines for whatever food or whatever ride we went on. There's one exception that the wait took a lot longer than expected. I don't know if something broke down in the middle of it and they didn't tell us. I'm not sure, but it just took a little bit, twice as long as what we were expecting. So that one, I guess that was the bad portion of the trip. But again, in retrospect, it was a great trip and had great travel and everything like that. So the ugly, nothing too ugly. If you're not a weather fan, I guess that was ugly, but some people really enjoyed it. So moving on to Cooking Corner with Curtis. So I'm going to change it this week to basically Eating Corner with Curtis, because when we were on our trip, not a whole lot of cooking going on, and we did have some breakfast and stuff in the hotel room just to make getting up and out a little easier. And then we packed some snacks and some light lunches and stuff to take with us to the different parks. But for the most part, we were eating in Disney, and they have obviously a ton of different options. And so we had some sit-down meals in the evenings, and then we also had some like lunches on the go, if you will. And basically, I can't think of anything I had that I didn't enjoy. So, and the kids, they kind of ate the same thing every day, no matter where we were, with some variations. But I guess how some kids are, not all, but they're basically wanting the same things. But we tried as adults, Rachel and I, got different things to the restaurants that we were at. And so a couple that stood out was a nice barbecue place in Disney Springs. Rachel got this massive salad, and I got kind of a barbecue sampler, and that was pretty well awesome. And then in Epcot, they have the different, or if you don't know, they have different nationalities or areas. So you go from like Canada to the United States to Mexico to Morocco to China to Japan and stuff like that as you work your way around. We didn't get too adventuresome, but I got some sushi there, and that was very good. And throughout there was desserts and things everywhere. So we got ice cream a few times, which was always very good. And then I had to go to Gaston's Tavern, I think is what they called it. But they had the massive cinnamon rolls. I have a picture of that, and so I'm a cinnamon roll junkie, and that was very good. So, and they were very massive. I don't know if you can tell in the picture a size reference, but they were very, very large, so that was great. And then there was a bunch of other stuff in between. So all of that, pretty well awesome, and feeling the effects of that with a little tighter pants these days. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. So coming up, so as mentioned before, we're going to have some listings coming up, just waiting on that to come to fruition. We have a closing on Godmen probably early in the week, haven't set that date yet. Have a couple inspection things going on with some different properties, so we're just kind of waiting through that process. And then a lot of showings coming up as well, and those are sprinkled in. And then on a personal note, we're celebrating Abram's birthday a little bit late, and that's this coming weekend. We kind of delayed that because of our trip. So yeah, that was it. That was the 2 weeks prior and leading up to today. And then like I said, a lot of good things coming up in the pipeline. And so if you have any questions about all of that, including Disney, from a novice, I'm not that experienced, but then also what's going on in the market, and anything, questions or anything about your home in particular, you can go ahead and reach out or comment below, and I will be happy to get back in touch with you. So as always, I appreciate it.